Onion Cycles podcast is about thought provoking, emotion evoking, action driven, step by step guidance to explore the unique, glorious, and wonderful ocean of your being. Because healing is a multi layered process of getting to know oneself. Become the self empowered empiric researcher by discovering the unique layers of your existence. With your host, Nadine Alma, welcome to the Holistic Healing Hub. Welcome to the Onion Cycles podcast.
My beloved fellow healing integrating onions, welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy week and your busy day to listen to these words and listen to these stories and spending some time with yourself and getting to know the mosaic that is you. I welcome you wholeheartedly to Story 49, Episode 51. We only have 3 episodes left, and this is why I wanted to have one episode dedicated to all of us and what I consider to be the 4 pillars of my own journey of 10 years of self-realization and self-exploration. So, me as a self-empiric researcher, if I open the book that is my last 10 years of my life, what would be the 4 pillars that I always come back to and that I always encounter in my everyday life that give me a peace of mind, that bring me back into my body, into my heart, that guide me, support me, that sort of fill me with a new fire, a new spark whenever the ups and downs of life sort of bring me close to the edge. Now, for everyone new out there, a wholehearted warm welcome to you as well. You know, these episodes are circling around the concept of as I think, so I feel, so I act. In the action lies the magic. So, if you feel called to do so, head over to my website. There is a worksheet according to what we discuss in the episode. So, there are notes summarizing what we talk about. Especially important, though, are the exercises on the worksheets because it is important to go and put up the sleeves and get to your individual unique way of understanding yourself. So the worksheets are really designed to bring each topic that we discuss onto a level that is your unique reflection on it, to make it as individual as possible and to be as beneficial as possible to your unique path. And with that said, welcome, Story 49, Episode 51, We the Onions. Why the Onion Cycles podcast? Well, we all know the onion is a root vegetable. And while the onion grows with a core, a seed, and builded layers throughout its growing and then comes to be harvested at some point, I believe in our society it's more like we are born with a spirit and a core and a soul, and then while growing up we become the layers of conditioning, of belief patterns, of thought patterns, of behavioral patterns that sometimes are coping mechanisms because we are not really in a society that has an open heart for individual, unique evolution. And therefore, I see the Onion Cycles podcast as the beauty of shedding all those layers, looking at them and deciding what to put back on. What layer do you feel is beneficial to you? What layer really sparks that joy and sparks that feeling of becoming fuller and bigger and more wholesome as a soul, as a spirit, as a person? And that is why I called it the Onion Cycles podcast. I also often use the metaphor of a mosaic, saying that the beauty of the mosaic that is you, meaning that you get to look at all those different tiny little pieces, the fragments of self, and decide which are beneficial, which do serve you, and which don't. I want to dive straight in to the four pillars that I highlighted on my own journey. The first one discusses the concept of inspiration versus dictation. If you follow me and if you feel drawn to listening to more podcast episodes, a huge amount of what I bring as content is inspired by great names. We have Mel Robbins, we have Christina Lopes, we have Till Swan, we have Megan Watterson, Brene Brown, Maya Angelou, Tony Robbins, we have Matthew Hussey, and all of those wonderful people that open up their own heart and mind and sort of act as guides, as support, as generously sharing with us what they encounter in their own lives. And whilst that is wonderful and the beautiful humanity's core of sharing, of storytelling, of building bridges for others through our own experience, really, this inspiration is only as good as we ourselves take the self responsibility to say, right, this is inspiration, but not dictation. Because one shoe doesn't fit everyone. No one diet is good for everyone. Everyone has different metabolisms, and the same is true for our trauma, for our emotional bodies, for our spiritual bodies, for our life's journey. So, because everyone is unique and everyone is individual in their own perception, that is the superpower that each and every one of us has. That is why everyone is special. Everyone is a unique flavor of life experiencing itself. And therefore, we can take everything from those inspirational people, but making it clear that nothing can be used as a dogmatic form where we try to fit in. It's not about fitting in, it's about choosing from the banquet of life and choosing from all of the wisdom that is presented to us and really feeling into ourselves, getting into stillness and trying to figure out, does that serve me right now or doesn't it serve me right now? Because in the end, you are not broken. There is nothing to fix. Everything is already within you. And it might be that this inspiration in spirit from another person is opening up a new treasure chest where you discover something more glorious about yourself. However, if you don't feel inspired, but someone tells you that this is the only way, that this course will bring you from A to B with no work required, then this simply isn't true, because the work required is to look into how it makes you feel and feeling it. The noble work really is about working with yourself and listening within you. What does this information provide for me? What does it trigger me? Am I able to work through these feelings right now, or am I not able? So it really is about learning that nothing is one shoe fit all. Even if someone promises you that this is the only way to go, it is not, because there are 9 billion people on this world. If there was something that would work for everyone, I am pretty sure this would be out there. So always draw from inspiration, but listen within yourself for your journey, what really works for you. Stay curious though, right? Which brings me to the second pillar. The second pillar in my life that shows itself over and over again is that there need to be more and more and more of everything. It needs to be faster, it needs to be bigger, it needs to be so much more all the time. More things, more work on yourself, fear of missing out, a rush to get from A to B. So it's like this constant rush and this constant stress and this constant energy that sort of evolves into a mindset of lack, of scarcity, of missing out. And what I felt very strongly in the last 2 to 3 months is that that's sort of an illusion, really, because the more we are in the future, the more we are with our mind already on the next thing, the more we miss out on the magic. The more we are in our head, the more we miss out about our environment, about the people there, about life itself, basically. So, what I found to be very beneficial is to always have one conscious inner eye on my nervous system and how I feel and what it is that I actually need versus what my brain thinks it needs to accomplish today or it needs to do today in order to feel some kind of worthiness. There is this understanding that innately we are all worthy without even doing anything. The doing, the getting out, the living life, the loving life, and wanting to start the day comes from spirit within, from the heart, from this pool of, yes, I'm a creator of things, I'm a creator of realities, I'm the universe. You don't need to create something to be worthy. This worthiness is somewhere in here. And a society that is constantly bombarding us with distractions and telling us we need to get faster, we need to save time with equipment and things, and then, but we also don't even have time anymore. We can't be spontaneous anymore. We need to figure out a date 3 months in advance to see our most beloved people because everyone is so in this thing of this rush. Then my nervous system is in a rush and in a hypervigilant state. So acquiring calmness and a conscious approach to attending your nervous system, tapping into your nervous system and really feeling, where is my nervous system? Is it hypervigilant or is it in calm and stillness? And am I able to participate in life itself with full consciousness and being in the now? And then, therefore, seeing that rush is an illusion and that everything that is meant to be, that just happens. There is a flow, there is a current. And that current is only there if we're not in our head, but if we're in our heart. And we come into our heart if the nervous system is regulated. And how do we regulate our nervous system? There are so many approaches, but the most basic one, and the one that you can do no matter where you are and no matter your environment, it's breath. It's breathing. It's taking 30 seconds for 3 deep breaths. And the other day I saw a documentary where the Dalai Lama was talking about the same thing. And he says, when you feel like you're not connected to yourself, like your head is all over the place and there's so many things in the outside and you can't get into calmness, and breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, and repeat. And even while saying that, it gets calmer. There is stillness. There is this sense of balance, the sense of coming back into the body and being present. And that is beautiful. And that is a superpower available to all of us. Breath is life, and life itself is experienced more fully, wholesome, if we don't forget that breath is the key to opening up to this beauty of life itself. And that brings me to the third pillar. Beginner's mind is more of like an open heart state where we realize that there is always more to learn. There is beauty in realizing that even if you dance, and I hope I don't say something wrong. So if you're a dancer and you listen to this and this is wrong, just tell us in the comments. The beauty of conversation, the beauty of starting a conversation really lies into different perceptions of it on a topic, right? So in my mind, a dancer, even after 40 years, is still training, is still learning new things, is still having teachers being able to make new things available to them to be accomplished, to be learned. I know that I know nothing. And this is in no way meant to be dismissive if we study something for a long time, but there is always more to learn. It's just a simple fact. Just because I have this sunglass that has this gradient color that makes all of life seem purple, if someone else gives me their sunglass and I'm open and curious about that because I have the beginner's mind, I suddenly realize, oh, there could be a tint of brown as well, and there could be a tint of yellow. So it's really the essence of staying curious and acknowledging the beauty that is offered to us in life to feed us from the banquet again that life has to offer, in the form of never thinking that I have learned everything that there is to learn. And therefore, beginner's mind simply means there is joy and beauty in staying curious and being humble and feeling humility towards the amount of what there is more to experience. And that brings me to the last thing, the fourth pillar, the open heart. And I don't mean open heart surgery, I mean the mindset or heart set with which we approach life. You could also call it the nakedness of the soul. Nakedness of the soul is what I would call to be the essence of finding your authenticity. It requires a lot of courage. It requires us to be brave, to open up our hearts and letting people know how it looks in there. How do we feel? What evokes feelings, what triggers us, how we work through it, how we digest it, how it looks within us. We open ourselves up like a wardrobe or like a chest. We open the lid and we enable those we trust and feel safe with, and those whom we love, and those whom we know love us for who we truly are. We open us and we are able to not judge, not label, not disregard, not dismiss, and not have this notion that something that hurts me actually is meant to hurt me, but something that hurts me is a compass showing me where I'm called to look closer, where I'm called to feel. So even if I open up and I share something with a loved friend and they feel triggered by it, they immediately can say, I feel triggered by that. Where does that come from? And then you have beginner's mind and curiosity and open heart, and you stay open. And through conversation, you're then able to pinpoint, why is that feeling there? When was it last there? When was it first there? What does it do to me? And then you're able to feel and transmute it to something beautiful. And one of the things I encounter with my loved friends and practicing the art of being naked from a soul or heart perspective is that it deepens this friendship, this connection, this innate humanness within all of us, that we just want to have peace and love and exist, right? And connect and be with each other and create because of the joy of creating and living life itself. So, whilst opening up and being vulnerable as the most daring thing you could do is also the thing that lets us grow the most and connect and strengthen the bond with each other the most. So it is quite a daring thing to suggest or recommend, but I invite you, if you have one person where you feel really safe and really held, really seen, really understood, try it out for yourself. Make your soul really naked, make your heart wide open, and share with them something and experience this beauty of this bond getting stronger. And if you experience that over and over again, you get bolder and you get more courageous, and you do it with someone where you know, where you don't really know, am I safe doing this? Let's just see. And it might backfire and you might feel so hurt, but it strengthens you, because every time it backfires, you know that actually this hurt means that I haven't healed, integrated something within myself. I'm now called and invited to look at it, and then you get bigger and you get bigger and you get wholer, and your whole essence becomes fuller, and you step into that beautiful, strong, wonderful light that is already there within you. So if you feel called to do so, share. If you do that, if you're daring and be naked, let your soul be naked in front of someone, and the experience you get from that, if you want to share that in the comments. We always say sharing is caring. What you experience and feel called to share might be contributing to someone else's journey. They might just need to read that in the comments, and then maybe they'll interact with you. Because conversation is magic. Being there with each other, not in the form of a coach telling you something, in the form of therapist listening to you and working with you through something, just this eye to eye level of sitting together, being together with an open heart, with no inhibitions, no masks, no judgment, no label, just two people sharing perspectives, experiences, triggers, feelings, emotions, talking about life itself. That is where magic can happen. And that is also why I want to invite you, if you feel called to do so, head over to my website. I have an offer where you are able to talk to me personally on a one-on-one call online to see if we vibe. If you feel called to work with me, this is a wonderful way to connect and see if this style of conversation, this style of interacting with each other is beneficial to your journey. So I invite you to head over and book your first free vibe check and see if a work with me may be beneficial and just what you need in your life right now. And with that said, my beloved fellow healing integrating onions, with all my heart, thank you for taking the time to getting to know yourself, for putting in the noble work of diving into the depths and the highest highs of what it means to be human, what it means to be you specifically, and not shying away to look at this sometimes not beautiful and not very cotton candy rainbow unicorn style of work, but looking, doing, and taking it seriously, but also with a pinch of joy, a pinch of laughter, a pinch of curiosity and beginner's mind. I thank you. I really appreciate you spending a year with me. I hope my content brought something to your life, something to your path that was of service, that was beneficial. And with all my heart, love and light, wherever you are in the world, stay connected, breathe, and share your light with the world. Thank you, my beloved fellow healing integrating onions.